Set the altar up too.
You are.
Everybody, even though it's evening or afternoon in different parts of the world, we're here to do Rev Talk again. I'm Reverend Beverly, and there's Reverend Kim.
Oh, yeah. So I apologize. There was technical difficulties. You know what? I'd like to blame technical difficulties. The difficulty was mine. It was that I take responsibility for it. I did not read the instructions that said, now you have to pay. So here we are. But Bev, you drew some very interesting cards. I want to hear this story.
Yes.
Go right ahead.
I decided to draw from my Sacred Rose from Rebecca Campbell, who works with the Akashic Records.
Yeah.
And I kept getting 4 cards, and I didn't want 4 cards. Well, after the 3rd time, I said, okay, I'm going to have to read and see what her spread is. And her 4-card spread is an altar for the year. And it's in 3 months increments. So each card addresses what you'll be working with at that time. And my 4 cards were open. Number 1, be open to everything and everything that comes your way for the first 3 months. Number 2 was the fertile void. And it was the most black sky with roses throughout it. It was absolutely gorgeous. And it's telling you to rest, relax, and trust that all will come to fruition. The 3rd one was the crowning. And that was everything is going to come down through you to experience. And the last one was come to me. And that kind of scared me. And I didn't read it. It was kind of like, okay, you're rising your vibrations. How high am I going? Am I passing over, or am I just raising my vibrations? And then it was time to do our talk. So I thought, I better think about these before I begin to say anything. But I would like to show or share, they have a blessing on their rose card, and they honored the sacred rose. Mm-hmm. And the rose was before time, it was before Christ, and it always has and always will be. But they say an attunement to align you before you draw your cards. And I thought it was quite beautiful. It would apply to anything, not just cards or spirituality. It's just a really pretty saying. And it says, Mother Rose, you who were the person before, long before we were here, and you will continue after we are gone. Bless this oracle and hall. May it be a gateway for all to return to ourselves, the earth, and each other. May our connections with the voice of our soul be made stronger with each use. May all who touch it or feel cherished, held, loved, softened, and seen. May it deliver insight, understanding, compassion, and guidance that is in the highest interest of all beings, past, present, and future. When I'm holding space for another, help me to step out of the way and invite others to connect with the wisdom that exists deep within me. Guide me and all who use it to embrace our ever-changing true nature and the seasons of our lives with, again, compassion, understanding, and grace. Show us how we can plant ourselves here more deeply than ever before. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I just kept going back to compassion, understanding, and grace. This is what we're here to show right now.
So now, did you read the Come to Me?
No, I haven't read any of them because I was fiddling with my computer.
Okay, so the keywords for Come to Me, because I have the same deck,
Ah,
are attracting like a rose, receive, abundance, desires. So it's what do you desire? What are you ready to open yourself up to receive? And how can you attract like a flower? Those are the questions to ask. Now, there's a whole lot of
Other stuff.
the card, it says, is about receiving abundance, rose style. It's an invitation to receive the sweetness of your life, to embrace the magnificence of who you are, and also to open yourself up to the possibility of receiving what you yearn for deeply, to be clear on what you desire, to trust that all that's meant for you wants to come to you. And then there's a whole lot more. So,
Wow. So it's not as,
so it's
well,
not
it
as
is.
apocalyptic as you were.
Okay. You made my evening. Thank you very much.
That seems to be the theme for me today. I also had, because I went out to the farm and was talking to the owner, and of course she's been having some employee issues at her store and all of that, and it was really interesting because she had said to me, she said, I remembered the conversation that you and I had before about asking the universe for what I really desired in an employee, you know, and she said, and I did that. She said, I listened to you and I did that. She said, and it had to be the very next day. She said, these two women came into the store who had never been there before. And she said, the one was just like, all like really, really like, oh, this is wonderful. I didn't know we had it. We were just like right down off the next exit or whatever. And something the other woman said caught her attention. And she said, and I've never done this before. She said, I flat out said to her, you know, I am looking for someone to work here. And the other lady who was with her, she said, that's perfect. That's what you've been looking for. So she said, we went through, she said, the interview process, she said, and I hired her on the spot. And so I saw this new lady today, and she's lovely. She's lovely. So
Oh, that's great.
when I left, I kind of had to do a thank you for showing me that I'm still supposed to be here, and that what I'm doing and saying does make a difference.
That's exactly, we don't realize it, and it may not be instantaneous like that, maybe months down the line,
Right.
but it does. That's why we're here.
I know, and I there are times when I question, because, you know, as I've said before, being an anchor, it can sometimes be very lonely, or, you know, quiet, where, you know, I'm not seen. And so it's always nice to get that little nod that, you know what, it doesn't matter whether you're seen, what you said had impact and it made a difference.
It's kind of like you don't realize, but you're reaching out to others, and it's multiplying because it went from you, the store owner, to an employee. So it's spreading, and we're one step at a time.
Yes.
That's all that it is. And yes, you can be an anchor, but you can be an anchor and get out there and go out more. You don't have to stay home day.
Well, gas prices what they are makes it a little bit easier to stay home.
You can walk.
There's nothing really around here to walk to. That's really not. But I wanted to, I pulled this card flew out while you were talking about. Okay. So this one's from the Forest Fang, and it is the old paths. And it's like, walk in unknown territory to see from a new perspective. So I'm going to show that card. I think it's really cool. Walk in unknown territory. to see from a new perspective.
You're pulling up anchor and going to a new location.
Probably. So here's the funny thing too, with my brother-in-law coming over and fixing that pipe down there. I have been collecting boxes. I've been breaking down boxes and collecting them and keeping them in the basement. And I do that every time I put that down there. It's like, okay, this is for when I move. This is for the move. So he went downstairs and he saw these boxes. He says, hey, he said, we may need to use those for when Rachel moves. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Oh, that's when you speak up and say, but I'm moving, I need them.
I know. Well, I thought about it and I thought, I don't know if I want to open that can of worms while he goes home and says something to my sister.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't say anything.
Okay, I agree.
So, yeah, but it is interesting how, in my mind, this is what I'm using them for. His new perspective was, wow, Rachel can use those for when she moves into her new home. I'm like, oh,
how exciting.
I know.
It's new beginnings for her.
It is. I mean, it is. I didn't hear if anything came through or when they're going to move. I think it's all just still up in the air with that, but it's.
Well, I hope they gave the owners a, definite time, because otherwise they could live there a year.
Well, what they did stipulate was that after, I don't know if it was like 30 days or 60 days, one of the two, if they haven't found a home, they're going to start paying her mortgage.
Okay.
They have to pay, to stay there. So she's not losing anything per se. They're going to have to, pay. So.
It's interesting because Ray and we talked today, and we're going to buy a house back in California because we have to put her in something. And interest rates have gone from 2% to 5%.
Yep. Yeah.
And the prices haven't dropped for the sale of the house.
Right.
Sitting here, we can't have one bathroom. We have to have two. So it's just certain things you have to have, because when you're 92 years old, it takes you an hour and a half to do your thing.
Right.
So we started looking today and was zilch.
Well, I guess again, I guess that's a matter of asking the angels and asking you to put it out there. This is what we need. This is what we're asking for, and thank you for bringing it to us. And
now see, that's kind of a sore subject with me, because I've been asking for help for her for years.
Yeah, but you're still holding on to it too.
No, because that's why he's buying the house down there.
No, I mean, you're still holding on to the ask.
Oh, I haven't let it go. I haven't
let it go.
I need to see it completed.
Right.
That's right.
And to thank them for it already happening.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Already fruitation.
Yes, absolutely.
And not put stipulations on where, when, and how. Well,
right.
I don't do that, because it took 4 years to get this house. I
do. I put it all the time.
Yeah, but you usually get it right away. That Michael's right there.
I know. Well, when Michael, he likes to, I think he likes to toy with me. It's like, yeah, we'll throw this at for, no, that's not true, but yeah, I do have a tendency of holding on to it instead of just
letting it go.
I get the miracle when I follow, asking and saying, I'm asking for this miracle and thank you for it already happening, because you know what, I deserve a miracle. Thank you for it. That's when it happens really fast.
I think a lot of people do that too.
Yeah.
And they put stipulations in everything. It's not a matter of what you want. It's a matter of how you're asking for it, and
Right.
what's in the highest good for what you want.
Right.
So it's quite interesting to see all that.
It
really
is. It is. Oh,
But I haven't gone out and well, like you said, it's raining now. We really can't go out.
it's kind of, well, and again, my one windshield wiper,
The one.
one is like floppy. It's like ripped off, part of it's ripped. So when I use the windshield wipers, there's this one piece that just kind of drags along. Doesn't really clear anything off the windshield. It just, and I'm driving today and I'm like, yeah, I really need to get that fixed.
You have to replace it.
I do. I have to have it replaced. I have to get new windshield wipers, and you'd think that would be like the way I talk about it. It's like such a big deal. I got to go somewhere and find somebody that's going to do it, and it's like I don't know if I want to do that.
No, it is that we usually wait until we go and have the oil changed.
I know, and if I did that, it would be November.
Yeah.
When
You're still supposed, even though you don't, there's a month as well as miles, in case you were wondering.
Oh, no. I know. I just wait till I get my car inspected and then have the oil changed. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't do it every 3 months. I should, but I don't.
Oh, yes. It's hard. There's so many things in our daily life that pull at us. And we were talking about this in class the other day, and it's kind of like your phone, your apps are all open and you start going through and you've got 30 some apps open. You've got all these things to do, and where do you put your priorities? You need to take a deep breath and center yourself, because priorities aren't all important. They'll get done when they need to get done.
Right.
And that takes a lot of the stress. And we haven't been using our phones. We haven't been using the internet much other than work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't listen to the news, and it's taken such an amount of pressure off me that I can actually relax and enjoy the days now. And I can see the beauty, I can see the goodness. And I don't worry about the other because I'm not listening to it.
That's great.
Like we're living in La La Land. We're creating the world we want to see.
Absolutely. There it is. That's it right there. That's it. You're creating the world you want to live in.
That's
The
right.
one that makes you feel comfortable, the one that gives you peace and grace and ease. That's what you strive for, and that's what you work for, and that's what you're doing.
Yes.
What gives you peace, what gives you grace and ease. Not watching the news, not reading the news, shutting that out, and listening to the divine.
That's exactly right.
In all of nature and everything else. So that's wonderful. I think that's awesome.
I have such a joyous morning because I go out and I clean up the birds' mess, and then I feed them, and I watch the different critters come in, and some of them will even come to the door, sit there and eat and watch me eating breakfast. Other ones will chase them away and then sit in the middle of the dish and take it all to themselves. So then the stragglers come after he's full. So I thought, I'm going to start writing little stories on that.
That's great.
It would be so cute for little kids, and make it simple so the beginner readers could read it, and see it.
I love that idea. That's cool.
I thought it was cute because I said, you've always talked about it. Why don't I write one for my granddaughter?
Go right ahead.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's the divine ding going on there. That's great.
That'll be kind of fun.
Do that.
So do you have something to add?
I think I'm complete. How about you?
I am complete. I hope somebody gleaned something from what we said because there were some important topics there.
I think so too. So with that, my friends, we're going to end this week's Rev Talk. Thank you for joining us. And again, I would like to remind you all to be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself, and remember, you are unique in all the universe. There will never be another just like you in all of space and time. You are powerful, you are cherished, and you are loved. And without you, the song of the universe would be incomplete. Until next time, my friends.